Good morning, everyone. I would like to begin today's meeting by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are gathered and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to the City Lifestyle Committee meeting of the 17th of May 2023. I declare this meeting open at 9 a.m. I would like to advise attendees in the room that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. Please be advised for this meeting, Council previously approved the leave of absence for Councillor Bradley at the City Governance Committee meeting held on the 19th of April 2023. I don't believe we have any other leave of absences. Nope. Okay, to begin, we'll have declarations of conflicts of interest. I now refer to the declaration of conflicts of interest. Do any councillors wish to declare a conflict of interest against any reports on today's agenda? Councillor Murphy.
Thank you. Through the Chair, I, Karen Murphy, have a declarable conflict of interest today in item 5.2 of the City Lifestyle Committee on the 17th, today, the 17th, yes, of May 2023. I have a personal relationship with several of the board members at Club Beenleigh, and I'm an actual member myself of the club, and I propose to voluntarily exclude myself from the meeting while this matter is being debated and voted on. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a declarable conflict of interest? Councillor Laurie Kerensky.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councillors, this is a statement more than a declaration, but councillors, as you are aware, I've historically declared conflicts of interest in relation to matters pertaining to Club Beenleigh and Douth Park because of personal relationships with several of the board members in the Club Beenleigh. However, the only remaining board member I have a personal relationship with is Mark Ellis, who I regard as a casual acquaintance. I've sought advice from the city solicitor, who's confirmed that my relationships with Mr. Ellis wouldn't reasonably be regarded as a close personal relationship and therefore does not trigger a declarable conflict of interest. As such, I do not intend to make a conflict of interest declaration in relation to this matter and will stay for the meeting.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to reports and we'll begin with item 5.1, Sports and Community Infrastructure Quarterly Report for the 1st of January to the 31st of March 2023. This is a public report. The Director for Community and Lifestyle, Mr. Brad White, the presenting Managing Officer of the Sports and Community Infrastructure Manager, Mr. Ben O'Brien, will speak to the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, Mr. Mayor and councillors. Yes, the report before you today is the quarterly update from the January through March 2023 period for sports and community infrastructure. Some of the highlights and milestones I'd just like to bring to your attention within the report is the recent expression of interest for a possible joint venture for the Beenleigh Aquatic Centre is now closed. The team are currently working on a report and we hope to be bringing that back to this committee in the next month or two for your consideration. The design and construct contract for the Logan Central Youth Centre has now been awarded. Scoping and consultation for the projects in Year 1 of the Sports Facilities Program was completed in that previous quarter. And since then, construction has recently commenced on some of these projects. Lastly, I'd like to bring to your attention the relocation and upgrade of the Jimboomba Park RSL building that was completed recently with a wonderful turnout of people from the RSL for the opening of that building on the 19th of April. Mr. Chair, happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ben O'Brien. We have a question from Councillor Murphy.
Thank you. Through the Chair, Ben, I just wanted to say thank you to you and the team. I know that it's all happening down in Division 12 with the pool, the Chris Green Park and obviously the Riverine Centre. There's a lot going on down in my area and I just wanted to show my appreciation to the staff because I do know that there has been lots of complications with a few of those those projects and express my thank you to them. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any further questions? No further questions. I think we'll move on to 5.2. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'd like to vote. I'd like to.
I'm happy to move the report, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Kerensky has moved. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Murphy. All those in favour, raise your hand. That's been carried unanimously. Okay, so moving right along, we'll begin item number 5.2. Councillor Murphy.
Councillor Hall, I will leave the meeting at this stage while this report is being left. Could someone please collect me when it's done? Thank you.
Councillor Murphy has voluntarily left the room. I note that item 5.2 is confidential. A proposed resolution to move this matter is displayed on the screen. Do any councillors wish to move into closed session for this item? Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, I'll move. We go to competition.
Seconded by Councillor Raven. Can I see a vote? That's been carried. We'll be moving into confidential. Please be advised that the meeting is now in confidential session and therefore the live streaming of this meeting will be suspended until the meeting reopens. Thank you, Councillor Zamir. We are now in open session and live streaming has recommenced. I require a mover to move the table which is presented on the screen. Can I have a mover? Councillor Stemp. No seconder is required. Can I see a show of hands?
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
That's carried unanimously. Councillor Zamir, we have a recommendation up on the screen. Can I have a mover for the recommendation? Councillor Wilcox has moved. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Bennett, seconded by Councillor Bennett. Can I have a show of hands? That is carried by all councillors except for Mr Mayor. How do you vote, Mr Mayor?
I vote against on the reasons I think it's not in the best interest for council to be involved in poker machines.
Councillor Kerensky, how do you vote?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to abstain, and if I could, I'd like to provide a reason. Given that I've not been privy to councillor discussions pertaining to this matter to date, and I wasn't present for Club Beanley's presentation to council, I've elected to abstain from today's vote.
Thank you. That's still being carried. Can we please now invite Councillor Murphy back into the room? Okay, we'll move on to general business from the manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is it 4? Okay. Just like to bring to Council's attention the Sports and Community Infrastructure branch, along with our friends in our Parks branch, have been working for a number of months now on the Community Infrastructure Network Plan. You may have recalled this was introduced by our director at the back end of last year in setting the scene. The Community Infrastructure Network Plan includes all sporting assets, looking at our community assets and our parks assets and future land provisions. For what we're hoping to do is plan out what that could look like for the next 20 years to help with identifying co-location opportunities, where we're seeking what that demand looks like, and also facilitate our project pipeline for our current capital programs. The reason why I'm raising this with you today is we're hoping to speak with each councillor individually in July around the information we have and what that vision looks like, and get your feedback on our progress to date. And that will be followed then through around September period, coming to potentially a councillor briefing to share with you what this planning looks like in more detail. And then hopefully coming back to this committee at the end of this year for endorsement of that strategic network plan. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. I don't believe we have any late reports. Oh. Yep. Does any of the councillors have any questions for the manager? Sorry, Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much through you, Mr. Chair. Ben, I would like to say a thank you to the Division 2 Sport and Rec Officer, Judy Jada. We recently had a ongoing issue of violence happening down in Gould Adams Park with some people that were staying there, and the community centre and the sporting hub felt a little bit vulnerable. Now, there's a late report coming to the Governance Committee which will help them install cameras into the area and link it through to live feeds. And I just wanted to say a big thank you, because that was handled very quickly. It was handled very sensitively. And I just want to say thanks to that team for bringing that forward so quickly.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Does any of the other councillors have any questions for the manager? No? Okay, I believe that concludes the agenda for today. Does anyone have any general business for the manager? Councillor Bannon?
I have general business for you, Mr. Chair.
Proceed.
Just saying,
Councillor
mate, you're
Bannon.
doing a good job. So, now you're up there as the chair. You're looking very sharp, and you've done a very good job as chair today, mate. Very proud of you.
Thank you, Councillor Bannon. Are you? Yeah, we have 2 more items.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just 2 quick GB items, if I can. I've asked Brad Page, our venues and events manager, just to come up the back, just to introduce him. Brad's been with us for 2 weeks, so I just wanted to put a face to a name. Brad's going to reach out and have a touch point with each of you over the coming months, just to touch in, get some feedback and engage. So thanks, Brad. The second one, just a very, very quick shout out to Deputy Mayor Karansky, just to thank you on behalf of the Directorate for your support over the last 3 years, and the Directorate's looking forward to supporting the future chair. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. If there's no further questions and no further general business, I believe that concludes the meeting. I declare that the City Lifestyle meeting on the 17th of May 2023 be concluded at 9:43 a.m. Thank you. The City Governance meeting will commence in 10 minutes.